Today we're going to be talking about what characterizes a recession. What is a recession? We're going to try and understand what it is, what the term recession actually means, and how you, as an average everyday investor, as an average everyday consumer, may benefit from recession because it's a really exciting time. If you have a little bit of capital, you might be able to see good returns in the future, which we will want at the end of the day. So let's understand firstly what the term recession means. So this term here, recession, basically means going backwards. So we have something that you have progression. The opposite of progression is recession. It's going backwards. The term recession then determines uh the going backwards of GDP. GDP, gross domestic product, basically defines the total output of a economy. In the grand scheme of things, a world recession, the GDP would relate to the entire world economy in this regard. So, when GDP is measured, it's measured throughout the quarters of the year. And when it records two negative quarters, so when GDP, one sec, when GDP records two negative quarters, so namely two quarters where growth is below 0%, recession is born. We are going backwards because for two consecutive quarters, we have recessed. We have gone backwards. So that's the overall idea of what a recession is. It is the negative growth, it is the reduction, it is the reducing of an economy. It could be America's, it could be Europe's, it could be the combined global economy. It is the general going backwards of the economy. So now we have a general understanding of what a recession is. We have to understand what a recession brings about. So a recession brings about a multitude of things. It brings about wealth disparity. It brings about lack of buying power and so on. But this is due to the recession being characterized by a couple of points, namely high interest rates, namely high unemployment, and a lack. One sec, because you can't see. There it is. Tax. Or whatever. A lack of buying power. So, high interest rates, high unemployment, and a lack of buying power characterize a recession. So, let's understand what two types of recession we normally face. These characteristics normally come around due to these points over here. A recession brought about due to demand, and a recession brought about due to supply. Currently, we're likely to face a recession due to a supply problem. The energy crisis caused from Ukraine, and the supply problem caused again through the war in Ukraine and through goods, through an oversupply of money into the markets, and through goods increasing in prices due to increase in transport fees, difficulties to receive such goods such as wheat from Ukraine and so on. Sure, causing a supply recession to occur. Let's first talk about a demand recession, though. A demand recession basically is the regular recession, is the recession that would occur on a normal basis. Not on a normal basis, because it's not that common to have a recession, but every 10 years, every 20 years or so, we would come across a demand depression, recession, such as in the time of 2008 financial crisis. So let's understand firstly what it is, a demand recession. So a demand recession is basically caused due to the average person having too much money, too much buying power. To put it simply, this is the reason. and I can explain. Here, we're going to have a simple demand and supply curve. Over here, you have the intersection, the equilibrium. This point here is where demand meets supply and there's perfect equilibrium. There's perfect harmony, if you want to put it this way. Supply meets demand and demand meets supply. When the average person gets too much money, supply is forced to rise, causing supply to meet demand at a higher point. As demand is higher, supply must meet demand at a higher point. So instead of the point being here, the point might be here, for example. Um, as a result, supply increases drastically to meet this new demand. Eventually, you'll reach a point where demand falls. Demand falls, causing supply to be left in excess. As supply is in such excess, it may cause an economic recession. And this typically then will cause these factors to occur: a lack of buying power, high unemployment, high interest rates. This is simply due to the ECB, due to the Fed in America, introducing high interest rates to combat inflation, something we might talk about in future episodes, in future economic videos. High unemployment is normal as due to demand not meeting supply, simply high unemployment will be natural, as those people producing goods don't need such a high number of staff because supply is greater than demand. Therefore, there's not the demand for employment. So people who work entry level jobs are normally unemployed, normally become unemployed, normally become redundant. Simple as that. And a lack of buying power simply because there's no money, simply because loans become more expensive, simply because high employment's high. The average person, the average you and I, do not have buying power because loans will be paying an extraordinarily high interest rates as we're seeing currently. And in the case of high employment, um, in the cases of high unemployment, we will be seeing people having less buying power and have to focus on finding their financial footing to be able to feed themselves, look after themselves, and so on. They won't have the money to invest. Simply as that. So that's a demand caused recession. If we move over, we can go like this, or over here. We can talk about the current recession, the current possible possible recession, which is, to put it simply, looming because of speculation. So it's probably going to happen. Probably in December, January, we will see countries like Germany. I think America will be okay. Most of Europe, due to the high energy crisis, going into recession. Well, I knew that's something else. This is due to the supply crisis. I think it's fair to put it as a crisis. To simply put it, basically, supply of goods is becoming extraordinarily expensive. Supply of basic materials such as metals, such as grains, and so on, is becoming extremely expensive. Therefore, pushing the price up. Therefore, as a result, let's do it like this so it's nice and clear so everyone understands, resulting in prices increasing. Therefore, prices increasing means inflation, because that's the definition of inflation. Inflation can be defined as the constant, steady increase of prices, basically, as prices steadily increase over a period of time. That is inflation. That's the definition of inflation. Deflation, on the other hand, is prices slowly decreasing over time or quickly decreasing over time, but over a prolonged period. So we have prices increasing, therefore inflation occurs. what happens? Naturally, your wage of €1,000, let's say, you used to get €1,000 a month, used to buy you 50 units of product A. Due to an increase in price, your wage might stay the same. Probably will stay the same. €1,000 a month. But now it buys you 30 units of product A. Therefore, in this simple explanation, we can see that you lose buying power. This is further exaggerated when the ECB or the Feds, let's put it here, the Feds or the ECB in Europe, one sec, raise or increase interest rates, causing the commercial banks that you and I use to increase their own interest rates on mortgages or I don't care, mortgages amongst others. Amongst others, I know that's how you spell mortgages. I don't care to be honest. Um, amongst others, basically. To put it simply, if you had €1,000 a month, and with the disposable income, you could buy 30 products of Unit A, but now due to interest rates increasing, your disposable income decreases. Oh my God. Your disposable income decreases. After this, one may see a simple decline in purchasing power. So basically, instead of buying 30 products, after interest rates increase, you might be able to only buy 10, 15. And this is the problem with recessions for the average day person. But, but, recessions also give great opportunity. Generational wealth is started in recessions. Very likely. Why? To put it bluntly, recessions are like a sale of goods. And you say, why a sale of goods? Simply because everything is reduced. Index funds. Let's put it here. Index funds, ETFs, stocks, and other securities. I know that's what I don't care. I can't spell. Securities are sold at a reduced price. But one has to attack this, has to attack the market with a calm and composed head. Not looking for short-term gain, looking to buy in the dip, looking to hold in dip, and then holding till recovery starts to occur and the stocks start to increase in price. Stocks might be held for 5 to 10 years before seeing any actual gain on investment. Not in terms of dividends, in terms of actual increase in stock price. But this is why recession is so exciting because it produces low prices in terms of houses. Houses are reduced in price, and securities also fall in price drastically. Therefore, if you have capital to invest and you're willing to invest this capital, firstly, understand your risk appetite, understand how much capital you're willing to risk on the line, understand what you're investing in, and then make an informed decision and a calm decision to understand that this money is not going to double overnight. We're not in the volatile crypto market of the COVID-19 pandemic. We must maintain a cool and level head and kind of weather out the storm. And eventually you will make great money. Anyway, this has been my first video. I hope it's been informative to at least one of you. Any questions, leave them in the comments below, and I'll be happy to answer. Thank you very much.